This video is going to cover standard mastery assessment number 5, analyzing graphs, and there's two types of questions that you'll see when you're analyzing a graph. The first one will be a input-output table. So you can see here on the left side we have the graph, and then on the right side we have a table, and the left column here represents the input, and the right column right here represents the output. And the input is always the x value and the output is always the y value. So we can go ahead too and label these axes. We know that the flat axis is x and we know that the vertical axis is y. So it gives us the input value and we've got to find the output value. Fairly easy to do. We just go where the input is 0. So on our x we're going to go where it is 0. And then we've got to find the output, so we're going to go up to see what the value is at 0. It looks like the value is 2, so we can go ahead and write 2. So we know that that was 0. At 1, we go where the input is 1, and then we just go up to where the line is, and it looks like the output is somewhere between 2 and 3, so we can go ahead and assume that they want us to put 2.5 because it looks like it's halfway. We go for 2. 2's right here. Dot up. What's the output? Looks like the output there is 3. At 3, what is the output? Looks like it's just above 3, so we're going to go ahead and put in 3.2. At 5, what is the output? Looks like the output is 4. And then the last one, at 9, what is the output? Looks like the output is 1. So, fairly straightforward. Gives us the x value, find the y value on the line. The other type of question that you'll see with analyzing graphs is the intervals. And it's important to understand that intervals are measured only with the x. We can say x values or the independent values or the input values. So we're going to use the x values to figure out the intervals, and then all we're doing is we're counting out how many times we see the line changes, and it tells us that there's going to be 4 intervals, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you look at the line right here to the left, you can see that the line changes 4 times. It changes once right here, then it changes here, then it changes right here, and then the last change is 4. So all we're doing with the intervals is we're figuring out the start of the line and then the end of the line. And we do that for each time the line changes. So the starting point for the first line looks like is right here. What is that x value? Well, it's 0. So we know that it's from 0. Well, when does it change? It changes right here. What is that x value? That x value is, looks like it's 10. So we know that from 0 to 10, this line right here, from 0 to 10, this line right here has a positive slope. So we go ahead and put a P right there. For the second line, we know that it starts where the first line left off. So it starts at 10. And we know that it's going to end at, between 10 and 20. So we're going to assume that this is 15. So we know that it ends at 15. And then what type of slope is this line? Since it's a flat line, we know that flat lines are constants. The third interval is going to start where the last interval left off. So we know from 15 to, and then when does the line stop? Stops right here. So from 15 to 40, it looks like. And notice as I'm going through, I'm not using these y values. Okay, these y values are not important as we're going through intervals. I can go ahead and even scratch them out. What type of slope was this line right here, this third interval? Well, it looks like the slope is negative, so we can go ahead and put an N. And then the last one, we know that it's going to start at 40. And where does it end? It ends right here. What is that x value? Well, 50, assume that this is going to be 60. And actually this is not 60 because it looks like it's going by 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So this is going to be 55 actually, so we'll go ahead and erase that. It's very important that you pay attention to the units as you do the intervals. We know this is going to be 55, and what type of line or slope is this? We know that it's positive. So that's essentially how you're going to do these interval type questions. Make sure that you are using the x values as you go through these, because that is the most common mistake.